Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. Lawmakers say the coronavirus pandemic highlights the need to update the nation's infrastructure now more than ever before. Everything from our health care to our broadband internet access. But as our Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon reports, the price tag of that infrastructure package and the clean energy provisions within it will be major roadblocks. We have the details now in our top story at 5.
Democrats say the coronavirus pandemic makes it hard to continue ignoring the nation's critical infrastructure.
And it's laid bare a glaring shortcoming that our nation's public health infrastructure is outdated and unprepared for crisis.
Accessing broadband internet is also a problem for many Americans that suddenly need it for virtual school and work. Democrats say their infrastructure package, the Lift America Act, would solve those issues by investing $80 billion to expand broadband access. Plus, there's tens of billions to keep lead out of water and support health care.
The bill rebuilds our health system after a year from hell.
The package would also dedicate nearly $70 billion toward modernizing the power grid and clean energy programs and nearly $40 billion toward an electric car fleet. Republican West Virginia Congressman Bob McKinley says Democrats are ignoring key questions.
What's the impact on jobs in refineries, pipelines, and drilling? How are we going to develop a domestic battery supply chain?
And Ohio Congressman Bob Latta says the package excludes all the work Republicans did to try to roll out a nationwide modern 911 system and rural broadband expansion.
And not a single one of those proposals is included in the legislation before us today.
And at $300 billion, Republicans say the Democrats' infrastructure package has ballooned out of control. In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
Here in Siouxland, lawsuits against the Big Ox energy plant could be one step closer to a settlement tonight. Those lawsuits were filed by people living near that plant who claim toxic gases seeped into their homes, causing health problems. The city of South Sioux City was also sued. A global settlement of 16 lawsuits is currently seeking approval from the city council. Once approved, that amount of money that the city would pay will then be made public. Residents and commuters at Grandview Park will notice that area getting a little more foot traffic this week as that water tank project moves forward. The facility that stood on the top of the hill will officially be put to rest. That's in order to replace the tanks that have been there for more than 100 years now. As of this week, construction is being done in the surrounding area. That is to prepare for the demolition. That's set to begin next week, according to the utility director, Brad Pitts.
And this project has been on the capital improvement list for quite some time. It was just time to move forward and kind of take some of those risks away from the citizens knowing how many people frequent the area.
That construction estimated to be complete by the end of September of 2022. And Sioux City officials tonight announced the closure of a portion of Virginia Street. The city's engineering division says Virginia Street at 20th Street will be closed until April 2nd. The city would like to remind drivers to please be cautious and also follow all traffic laws. South Dakota's Governor Kristi Noem today announced a coalition to, quote, defend women's sports. The announcement, of course, comes after the governor sent a controversial bill that would have barred transgender girls from competing in sports in the state of South Dakota, right back to the legislature. That is to be reworded. At today's press conference, Noem said that she was aware the bill could face some legal challenges.
Idaho is in a legal challenge right now, and yes, Tate Reeves from Mississippi has signed on to the coalition. Governor Stitt from Oklahoma has indicated his support as well. There's several other governors that are having the coalition go through their legal general counsel recommendations, but they're generally supportive of the idea.
When asked about the impact on the transgender community in South Dakota, Noem said it has nothing to do with transgender students. It's specifically about Title IX. Well, tens of thousands of additional people in South Dakota are currently eligible for the coronavirus vaccine. The state's health department opened up vaccinations to Group 1E today. Now, Group 1E, of course, includes fire personnel and critical infrastructure workers, which does cover employees working in industries like energy, finance, food service, manufacturing, and many others. The group also includes roughly 227,000 South Dakotans. 37% of South Dakotans have received at least one COVID-19 vaccine dose, while 23% tonight are considered fully vaccinated. Nebraska still plans to make coronavirus vaccines available to the general public by late April or early May. But tonight, Governor Pete Ricketts says a lot of factors could change the state's timetable. Ricketts says the speed will, of course, depend on how many vaccine shipments the state can get over the next few weeks, and also how quickly health officials can administer the shots. He says the state expects to see a big jump in single-dose shots of vaccine from drug maker Johnson & Johnson. That's next week. That could, of course, help speed up the massive undertaking. Nebraska is currently focused on vaccinating their residents ages 50 to 64 and also people with underlying health conditions. Never to be separated again. That's what one resident at Bickford Assisted Living promised his wife here in Siouxland after being separated for many months. Throughout the pandemic, residents were only able to talk to their loved ones through a window or virtually. Now, visitation rules have been relaxed after Iowa health officials issued some new guidance. And coming up tonight at 10, KCAU 9's Lydia Vasquez shares what it means to residents to be reunited with their families. And some good news, new research shows that younger people might be even more resistant to COVID-19 than previously thought. Researchers from Cornell analyzed COVID-19 antibody tests for more than 31,000 kids, teenagers, and young adults. Now, they found the younger the person was, the greater their antibody level. In fact, children under the age of 10 had significantly higher levels than adolescents. Experts say the findings show that children mount a more robust immune response when infected with coronavirus, therefore reducing their risk of severe symptoms. Interesting. Well, it's time tonight for our first check on the weather. Meteorologist Marcus Beasley standing by. Marcus, after a very pleasant, albeit windy weekend, today a shift. We had a lot of clouds and rain, as you mentioned, rolling in.
That's right. Clouds and rain will be the trend here the next few days. Also cooler temperatures here throughout Siouxland today and really throughout the next week or so throughout Siouxland. 54 degrees, our high temperature here in Sioux City and Lamar's and Cherokee today. 52 in Spencer, 51 in Wayne, 52 for your high in Yankton. So most of us right there in the lower to mid 50s today. Overnight tonight, we'll see temperatures drop into the low to mid 40s, so we're not going to cool off too much tonight. It looks like those rain showers that we've seen move into the area the last few hours will continue overnight tonight. It looks like tomorrow is going to be a pretty wet day as well. I'll have more details on those rainfall totals coming up in the 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie?
All right, thanks, Marcus. Many rural Nebraska residents are experiencing some sticker shock when they open up their heating bills from this month. The price of natural gas skyrocketed during the month of February. This thanks to that cold snap that caused a nationwide shortage. People in communities like Pender saw their bills almost triple during that period. Later this week, the Nebraska legislature will look at providing roughly $10 million in emergency aid that is to help those struggling with those higher energy bills. Authorities in northwest Iowa tonight are asking for the public's help in finding this missing Inwood Man. In a post on its Facebook page, the Lyon County Sheriff's Office says the 64-year-old was last seen in late February, and he has not returned home since. His last known destination was Minneapolis. The car he was believed to be driving was found abandoned, though, near Fergus Falls in Minnesota. If you have any information on his whereabouts, you are asked to call the Sheriff's Department. Dordt University has decided to end its campus radio station after more than 50 years of being on the air. KDCR first went on the air back in 1968 and primarily broadcast Christian programming. Now, the college says that they have decided to sell the station due to ongoing costs and limited listener support. Dordt will now shift to live streaming athletics and fine arts programming. The station was sold to K-Love, who will be broadcasting contemporary Christian music starting on May 15th. South Dakota residents will now have the option to text 911 in case of an emergency. This addition in service is designed to be used when residents feel like they cannot call for their safety. In an emergency situation, officials say that you should send the location and the type of emergency in the first message. They also say that calling 911 is still much more effective than texting, and you should only use this texting service if you're unable to make that call. Officials in the state of Florida tonight are trying to get a handle on the growing surge of spring breakers. Many cities across that state enacting curfews as tens of thousands flock there, ignoring the current CDC guidelines. The full story coming up.
And the rain, it continues to slide in here this afternoon and evening. We'll see temperatures seasonal in the 40s and 50s and more showers possible on Friday. Details after the break.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and meteorologist Marcus Beasley. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Thanks for sticking with us. Kind of a dreary scene, but really we were very spoiled with temperatures this weekend, way above average, and we saw the sun. Marcus, as advertised, we're going back to on average temperatures.
Yeah. Today, a sample of that in the 50s throughout much of Siouxland. Also clouds and rain here throughout the region. That's going to continue at least throughout the night, throughout the day tomorrow, and more than likely into early Wednesday as well. The view outside right now from the KCAU 9 studio, brought to you by the Port Neal Welding Company, showing those gray skies and that rain outside. So wet roadways throughout much of Siouxland out there right now. Temperature-wise, we're seeing cooler temperatures in southern Siouxland where that rain has been ongoing for a few hours now. As you head further north, not as much rain just quite yet, so we're seeing temperatures still in the 50s. 44 degrees in Sioux City and Wayne, 43 in Norfolk, Yankton at 52 currently. As you head further north, 52 in Orange City as well as Sheldon, 54 in Spencer there. Storm Lake currently at 43 degrees. Wind speeds a little breezy, around 10 to 15 miles per hour, generally out of the east-southeastern direction. Friday, this weekend, it looks like temperatures will be in the mid-50s, and it is Severe Weather Awareness Week, and we're going to talk about severe storms today. What makes this storm severe? It needs one of these, at least hail 1 inch or larger, winds at 58 miles per hour or greater, or a tornado. If one of those make the cut, then the storm will become severe. Safety tips for severe weather: seek shelter in an interior room of a sturdy building, avoid contact with electrical equipment, and keep away from any windows. And we do have a picture as well today of a beautiful bald eagle there, Lost Island Lake. This was sent in by Linda in Spencer, Iowa. So just a great photo there.
That is a gorgeous shot. She must have really been a talented photographer, patient with birds. All right, thanks a lot, Marcus. Well, we are excited to announce that we have a newly redesigned mobile app here at KCAU 9 News. Many of you already have it. It's a beautiful experience that alerts you to breaking news. It also lets you find other important content like weather, like Marcus just mentioned, and video quickly. Just update your existing KCAU 9 News app to get the latest version, or you can download the app in the App Store or Google Play. Just visit SiouxlandProud.com if you'd like to learn more. Well, a woman in Kansas says she's thankful tonight to have her dog back after it was stolen. Coming up in about 8 minutes, we'll explain why police got into an armed standoff with the man accused of stealing it. But first, authorities in Florida trying to pump the brakes on a surge of spring breakers flocking to the state. We'll take a look at the Sunshine State's COVID concerns after the break. We do have another question from our Facebook viewers. They wanted to know when.
Tim Seaman and Sophie Erber got answers to your questions about vaccinations on KCAU 9's latest town hall. If you missed it, watch at SiouxlandProud.com. This is KCAU 9 News.
Spring break and Florida goes hand in hand for millions of Americans, but now during a pandemic, officials from the Panhandle down to Miami Beach are dealing with a serious issue. Olivia Steen takes us there.
Drinking, we're having a good time, we're celebrating.
People from all over the country are flocking to Florida to enjoy some fun in the sun during their spring getaway. Buddy Zanolini and his friends traveled all the way from Philadelphia.
The virus down here doesn't exist.
While the crowds have been good for local business owners like Kimmy Tortuga, who performs at a Clearwater hotel.
I would say, yeah, there's been an uptick in attendance, for sure.
I spoke to a few people who have concerns about the large groups of people. Tortuga says she hasn't seen many people following the COVID-19 restrictions.
I haven't been following the rules at all, like since day one. No one's been following the rules, so you just got to protect yourself.
And she isn't the only one seeing people break the rules. Down in Miami, city leaders declared a state of emergency in an effort to control the crowds.
This is not an easy decision to make, and we are doing that to protect the public health and safety.
Miami Beach Mayor Dan Gilbert announced an 8 p.m. curfew for the South Beach Entertainment District.
Well, I think the volume is clearly more than it's been in previous years. That, I think, is in part due to the fact that there are very few places open elsewhere in the country or they're too cold, or they're not open and they're too cold.
Again, that was Olivia Steen reporting. A Kansas woman has been reunited with her stolen dog, but that only happened after police got into an armed standoff with the man accused of stealing her. We have that story coming up. Stay with us. A dog owner in Kansas came home to find her house trashed and this puppy missing. But after days of searching and an armed standoff, the two were finally reunited. Chris Searcy has this incredible story.
I will give my life for him because he's like my child. He's maybe a dog to some people, but to me, he's not.
On March 6th, Rihanna Estrada came home to find her house ransacked and her puppy Piglet missing. When she checked this security footage, she saw a man who police would later identify as 27-year-old Keenan Jackson Doolin allegedly stealing her puppy. Estrada said she instantly panicked.
Just straight panic. I didn't know where my dog was, and I didn't know what all he had went through, what all he had had.
She visited the police station every day in tears until someone called in an anonymous tip 10 days later, naming Doolin as the suspect. Police visited Doolin's house, but he refused to come out, leading to an hour-and-a-half-long standoff. Doolin eventually emerged from the house, and upon arrest, officers say he showed police the person he had sold the dog to. Officer Brielle Johnson recovered Piglet and reunited him with Estrada.
As soon as I got him, I just started crying. Just the happiness that I had getting him back. Never thought I would see him again.
Estrada wasn't the only one excited to see Piglet. Her niece Marley was happy ×7.
Are you happy that Piglet's back? How happy?
Glad, happy, 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 happy.
Taking a live look outside right now from our tower cam here at KCAU 9 News. Marcus returns with one more check on your forecast. Stay with us.
American Idol, new ABC tonight.
The rain has arrived for most of us, and that will continue tonight. 44 degrees for your low temperatures, so not too awfully chilly tonight. We will have those showers continue with winds around 10 to 20 out of the northeast. Tomorrow, we're going to see more rain pretty much all day long, a high of 52 degrees. So again, that's around where we should be this time of year. Winds a little breezy around 10 to 15 out of the northeast. So get your rain jackets ready because you're going to need them.
I brought an umbrella today.
There you
Thanks,
go.
Marcus. Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll join us again at 6. And until then, have a great night.